Hello students and welcome back to Atul Academy. In this video we are going to revise the physics, all the definitions and laws which are there in the NCERT book. So let's start with the first chapter. So what do we have in the first chapter? Its first is distance. It is a total distance covered by an object while it is moving. It's a scalar quantity. It has only magnitude. Now what is magnitude? It's a numerical value of any physical quantity. Displacement. The shortest distance measured from the initial position to the final position of an object is known as its displacement. Now it is a vector quantity as it has magnitude and direction both. Displacement can be zero, can be less than or equal to the distance, but it cannot be more than the distance. SI unit for both distance and displacement is meter. Now, a device which is fitted in automobiles, which shows the distance traveled, is known as the odometer. Now comes uniform motion. When an object covers equal distances in equal interval of time, it is said to be in uniform motion. And when an object covers unequal distances in equal interval of time, it is said to be in a non-uniform motion. Speed. The distance traveled by an object in unit time is referred to as speed of the object. SI unit of speed is meter per second. There are other units also like centimeter per second, kilometer per hour, centimeter per minute, meter per minute. It's again a scalar quantity as it has only magnitude. Speed is given by distance upon time. Average speed is always calculated by total distance traveled divided by total time taken. Now velocity. It is the speed of an object in the definite direction. It's a vector quantity. It has both magnitude and direction. Average velocity, we can say that it's initial velocity plus final velocity by 2 or also total displacement by total time. Now acceleration. Rate of change of velocity of an object per unit time is called acceleration. So SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Now in uniform motion, the velocity remains constant. Hence there is no change in velocity, meaning acceleration is zero. In a non-uniform motion, velocity changes with time, so hence there is an acceleration. Now comes to the next chapter, which is force and laws of motion. Force. Force is defined as a push or a pull. Balance force. Forces that are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. These forces do not change the state of rest or motion of an object. The net force is zero in this case. Unbalanced forces. Forces which are unequal in magnitude but are opposite in direction. These forces change the state of rest or of motion of an object. Here the net force is not zero. Newton's first law of motion. An object remains in a state of rest or of uniform motion in straight line unless compelled to change that state by an applied force. We know that all objects resist a change in their state of motion. So the tendency of an object to stay at rest or to keep moving with the same velocity is called inertia. So first law of motion is also known as law of inertia. So inertia we have of three types. Inertia of rest, tendency of a body to oppose any change in its state of rest. Inertia of motion, tendency of a body to oppose any change in its state of uniform motion. Inertia of direction, tendency of a body to oppose any change in its direction of motion. Now comes the second law of motion. Rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. 1 unit of force or 1 Newton of force is defined as the amount of force that produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in an object of 1 kg mass. So 1 Newton can be expressed as kg meter per second square. So the unit of force can be kg meter per second square or Newton. Newton is the SI unit of force. Momentum. Momentum measures the quantity of motion possessed by a body, but it is defined as a product of mass and velocity of a body. So we represent momentum by a symbol small p, then it is given by mv. P is the momentum, m is the mass, v is the velocity. And SI unit of momentum is kg meter per second. Kg is the unit of mass, meter per second is the unit of velocity. Again, momentum is a vector quantity, it has both magnitude and direction. Now comes the Newton's third law of motion. In very simple language, we say that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. In other terms, when an object exerts a force on another object, the second object instantaneously exerts a force back to the first object. Now these forces are equal in magnitude, opposite in direction, and hence are called action and reaction forces. And these forces, they act on two different bodies. That is why they do not cancel out each other. If they act on one body, they will cancel out each other. But these forces act on two different bodies, hence they do not cancel out each other. Now comes conservation of momentum. Sum of momenta of two objects before collision is equals to sum of momenta after collision, provided there is no external unbalanced force acting on them. In an isolated system where there is no external force, total momentum remains conserved. So the total momentum of two objects is unchanged or conserved by collision. Now comes gravitational. Now, when an object moves in a circular motion, so there is an external force which causes acceleration and keeps an object moving uniformly along the circular path, which is known as a centripetal force or the center seeking force. This force is always towards the center of the circular path. Now, every object in the universe attracts every other object. This force of attraction is called gravitational force, and the phenomenon is called gravitation. Gravitational force is always attractive, never repulsive. Newton's universal law of gravitation. Now, every object in the universe attracts every other object with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses, inversely proportional to the square of distance between their centers, and the direction of the force is along the line joining the centers of the objects. G is called the constant of proportionality and called universal gravitational constant. And the SI unit of G is Newton meter square per kg square. Now, what is a free fall? The motion of a body towards the earth when no other force except the force of gravity acts on it is called a free fall. Whenever an object falls towards the earth, an acceleration is involved, which is due to the earth's gravitational force and called the acceleration due to gravity. We denote this by small g, and unit is same as meter per second square, and you know the value of g is 9.8 meter per second square. Mass. The quantity of matter in a body is called its mass. Its SI unit is kg. It's a scalar quantity. It does not depend upon shape, size, and state of the body. You can measure it with the help of a common balance. Weight. Now the weight is a force. It is a force with which a body is attracted by the earth. It is equal to the force of gravity exerted by the earth on it. So force we know is ma from Newton's second law. So weight becomes W, symbol of weight is W, which is equal to mg. Here A becomes g, which is acceleration due to gravity. So earth is pulling you with the g and your mass is m. So weight becomes mass into g. So SI unit of weight is again Newton because it's again a force. Work. Work is defined as a product of force and displacement. So work done is equals to F into S. Work done by a force acting on an object is equals to the magnitude of force multiplied by the distance moved in the direction of the force. It is a scalar quantity. It has no direction. It has only magnitude. SI unit is Newton meter because for force the unit is Newton. Distance or displacement is meter, so it becomes Newton meter. And another SI unit of work done is joule. So 1 joule, how will we define 1 joule? It is the amount of work done on an object when a force of 1 Newton displaces it by 1 meter along the line of action of the force. Work done is negative when the force acts opposite to the direction of displacement. It is positive when the force is in the direction of the displacement. Energy. So energy is, as we all know, is the capacity of doing work. Again, the unit of energy is same as that of work, which is joule. 1 joule is the energy required to do 1 joule of work. Larger units of energy are also there, kilojoules, which is 1000 joule. So now let me tell you one thing. These definitions of 1 joule, 1 Newton, work done, 1 Newton of force, 1 joule of work done, all these are very important. Kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is energy possessed by a body due to its motion. So kinetic energy, it changes or it increases with the speed. So kinetic energy formula is half mv square. Potential energy is the energy possessed by an object by virtue of its position or configuration. Now, gravitational potential energy of an object at a point above the ground is defined as a work done in lifting it or raising it from the ground to that point against gravity. So potential energy is given by mgh. M is the mass of the body, g is the gravity, h is the height to which it is raised. Law of conservation of energy. Now, energy can only be converted from one form to another. It can neither be created nor be destroyed. So the total energy before and after the transformation remains the same. So this law of conservation of energy is valid in all situations and for all kind of transformations. Power. Power measures the speed of work done, how fast or slow work is done. Power is defined as the rate of doing work or the rate of transfer of energy. So power can be given by work upon time. Unit of power is watt. 1 watt is the power of an agent which does work at the rate of 1 joule per second. So 1 watt is equals to 1 joule by 1 second. Larger rates of energy transfer also there. Kilowatt. Kilowatt is 1000 watt or 1000 joule per second. Now when an object doing work at different rates at different interval of time, then we calculate average power, which is given by total energy consumed divided by total time taken. Now we have another commercial unit of energy, which is a bigger unit of energy, which is known as kilowatt hour. So 1 kilowatt hour is the energy used in 1 hour at the rate of 1000 joules per second or 1 kilowatt. So 1 kilowatt hour, how you convert into joules? 1 kilowatt hour, 1 kilowatt is 1000 joules. 1 kilowatt is 1000 watt and 1 hour is 3600 seconds. So you multiply that, you'll get 3, 6 and 10 to the power 5 joules, which we can convert into standard form, that is 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joules. Now the energy which is used in household, industries, commercial establishments, so they are always expressed in kilowatt hour, and 1 kilowatt hour is also expressed in terms of units. So 1 unit means 1 kilowatt hour. So hope all the definitions are covered here, and you need to learn all the definition for your exam properly. Definitions please don't change when you define 1 kilowatt hour, 1 joule of work done, 1 Newton of force. So you need to do it properly, and the conversion of units is also important. So revise it thoroughly, and we'll come back with another video which includes the derivation of few topics which are there in physics. So thank you for watching the video.